Hello everybody, hi. Well, as always, my heart is a little bit in my mouth when I press go live, and at the same time I'm very excited to be with you today. This feels like a special day astrologically because so much is happening. Not only have we got the new moon in Pisces today, we've also got Mercury going retrograde at 29 degrees of Pisces, and we've got Uranus going into Taurus, where it's going to stay for the next 7 years. So it's a big day, and I thought to myself, this is a really good opportunity to co-create something together. It's a portal. I always feel as though there are certain days where there is more energy that is available for deep transformation. Now, the last time I was live, I was quite criticised by people, particularly afterwards, who watched the recording, that I thanked every person who was kind enough to donate $1 here or there on or whatever it was that was being donated on Super Chat. So all I'm going to say to you today is thank you to everybody who does donate, who gives to me, who enables me to give all these free transmissions, do more of them. I'm very, very grateful to you. So I won't be acknowledging everybody personally, although I would like to do that. But if you've got a personal question, you've got something you want to ask me, then maybe you can send me a personal email and we can work it out that way. So, today was a big day for me. Let's start out on the personal note, because the aspects are always very personal, and because these are such strong aspects, they are also global ones. So we're experiencing a huge shift, and I think many people are feeling it, right? There's a sense of like, what's happening? A lot of people are feeling quite lost. Some of my clients are just feeling as though they don't know what direction to go into. Uranus in Taurus. Taurus has everything to do with gratitude. And I feel deep gratitude to be able to share with you here and now. Thank you. Thank you for being open. New moon, Pisces, an openness. So, just waiting for the live stream to catch me up. And of course, it's always a little bit behind. I think there's a lag. So yes, you're never alone. So let's look at this. We've got the new moon in Pisces. So this today is an opportunity for new beginnings. Uranus in Taurus is surprises, things that you don't anticipate. And Mercury retrograde is maybe changing your mind. And that's what happened to me today. I was all set, all packed to the nth degree, ready to get on a plane this afternoon to go for my first visit to Jerusalem. And I'd even booked, because I had a feeling I wanted to take my violin with me, just in case I fancied playing some tunes in the street, playing for my dinner, if you like, playing for my supper. I actually booked a seat for my violin to sit next to me on the plane. And it's quite inexpensive to travel from Athens to Israel because it's a short distance. So it felt like a really fun thing to do last night. And I woke up this morning and I just felt not to go. It was like, I couldn't explain why, Yes, I had all kinds of mental things as to say, oh gosh, why are you changing your mind? You've got things set up. There's people meeting you. There's all kinds of nice things that you were planning to do. And I was going to do, of course, some filming and share that with you. But I just had a feeling in here. And I thought of the new moon, the sun, the moon and Neptune together, which is all about trusting your intuition. Mercury about possibly changing your mind. And I just gave myself permission to postpone, which is what I did. And that's why I'm here with you now live, which would not have happened had I been sitting on a plane right now. So maybe you can give yourself permission to change your mind about something. Sometimes we kind of feel as though we've got to somehow push through. And I'm not saying that sometimes it is relevant to push through, and you do. But today, instinctively, I'm relieved that I didn't push through, because I could have done. So what are you feeling as though you have to push through? And where could you just relax and in true Piscean form, surrender, trust the inner voice, and just see where you are led. Now Pisces rules your feet, so it's a great time to do anything for your feet. Reflexology, massage, anything that really appreciates your precious feet. Those feet don't do a lot of work. So when the moon is new in Pisces, this is a wonderful time to nourish those feet. Maybe just rub some nice cream on them. Just something nice. So with Mercury retrograde in Pisces, well, it's an opportunity to really rethink how you feel about things. What are you feeling? Do you feel as though you need to communicate with people differently? Can you have kinder thoughts? Can you feel, could you put yourself into somebody else's shoes? That Mercury retro in Pisces is often a little lost in its thinking. It's over here and it's over there. It's not very focused. And maybe give yourself permission not to be too focused for the next week or two. Because that is Mercury in Pisces. It just wanders around sometimes in a little bit of a daze. Now, if you were born under a Mercury retrograde, very often when Mercury, and that's about 15 or 20% of us, during Mercury retrogrades, that's often when you're clearer than everybody else. And things go easier for you very often at that time. I want to make it clear that I didn't change my mind because I was fearful of travelling. I wasn't, because we were all packed and all excited. But I just had a feeling that this was just not the day to go. Now, fortunately, because I changed my mind, being a true Libra, I always take flexible seats. So there's minimum loss when I make these changes, which does happen. I have friends who are more Saturnian and drives them crazy if I just don't get that feeling. Now, I don't change my mind when it comes to appointments and clients. Let me just make this real clear. I've got a solid moon in Taurus. And when it comes to business and work, I keep those appointments unless there's an absolute serious emergency. So I think things are going to heat up now as we move into this Uranus in Taurus energy. As we move into this, well, we're in it now. We're in it, okay? We've had the build-up, now we're in it. So, Uranus in Taurus is going to have us absolutely look at how do we connect with Mother Earth. What are we doing to our planet? Are we treasuring our planet? How can we use the resources on our planet for the highest possible good? For everybody. How can we bring equality into our daily life? And that means financially, how we deal with food, lodgings, the weakest people in our society. How do we deal with the young, the old, the disabled, the sick? How are we dealing with them? I think it's no accident that the day that Uranus goes into Taurus proper, we've got all this Piscean energy, which is encouraging us to look at the whole of humanity. Everybody, to be inclusive. And many of you have asked, because I often say I'm going to be going live in a couple of hours, so I got a lot of questions. I'm going to try and cover the patterns, the main patterns in the questions. But many of you ask personal questions like, how is it going to affect Capricorns? How is it going to affect people who have got a lot of Aquarius? So what I'm going to say to you is this. All of us are being affected. Every single sign. And let me explain why. It's not always the case. But now as I see what's unfolding astrologically over these next couple of years, none of us escapes these potent transformational opportunities. So, why? Well, Uranus in Taurus, fixed sign. So all the fixed signs are deeply impacted. So Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. These are the signs that are going to be extremely impacted by this Uranus in Taurus transit for the next 7 years. It's going to force you, you dear fixed signs, and you might have a fixed moon or a fixed ascendant. And if you don't know your chart, you can get a free one from my website. If you just go under go under reports and go under free report. So yourastrologysigns.com, report, free report, enter in your details, and you can find out where the planets are in your chart. And you can see how you're going to be impacted, especially by Uranus in Taurus, and which planets it's affecting. So all the fixed signs, Uranus in Taurus for sure, is going to get you out of a rut, your habit patterns. If you've got too stuck, expect to be awakened abruptly out of stuck patterns. The cardinal signs, goodness gracious, you guys are getting deeply impacted. We've got all this Capricorn energy, the eclipses in Capricorn and Cancer all year. So that's the Capricorns and the Cancers. We've got by default, the Libras and the Aries getting affected, because we've got a series of 3 moons coming up. After this Pisces moon, we've got a full moon in Libra, new moon in Aries, and a full moon in Libra. So guys, you're getting activated, all the cardinal signs. And then the mutable signs. Don't think you're just getting off scot-free, no. Gemini, Sag, Virgo, Pisces. The eclipses by the middle of next year begin to come in the mutable signs. Neptune is in Pisces, encouraging you to release, to let go, to find compassion and love. So these are all the reasons why every one of us is going to be deeply impacted by these aspects. And I see this as we're in the build-up to the equinox, coming into all this Aries energy, the fire energy, and the air energy of Libra, with the moon, 2 full moons in Libra. So you're going to be looking at how to find balance, relationships, your finances, huge shifts. Thank you. Many of you like the paintings. Thank you. I do sell some of them, yes. Some of them are already sold, but I do. You can send me an email if you're interested. I need to keep the flow going. Thank you for that. I appreciate the way that astrology now is becoming more widespread, and my hope is that people are realizing the depth of astrology, that it's not this 1 line or 2 lines in a newspaper or magazine, that it has great depth and great meaning, and each of the signs. So when we look at these signs, we look deeply at the Piscean energy. We are moving Piscean age. We're moving from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age. It's interesting that the ages go backwards and the signs go forwards. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Yeah? It's like paradox. There's so much paradox. So what we're being encouraged to see is that we're all connected, and how can we build community? To me, Uranus in Taurus, with this Piscean energy introducing it, has everything to do with community. Finding people who are on wavelength, releasing those who just don't resonate with you anymore, letting them go, and if necessary, being alone for a while. Although you're never really alone. Of course, there's a lot of activity going on in those unseen realms, as you know, or as I've been bringing through with the Pleiadians and many of you who are interested in the channeling. Yes, many want to hear from the Pleiadians. I am going to bring them in. Some of you just want astrology, some want Pleiadians. Once again, you can't please everybody all of the time. And I do try to learn and grow through the feedback I get. So, I'm going to have a little vote. Who would like Pleiadians? All right? So we can feed this in. All right? So yeah, you want to start a group of meditators. Maybe you want to start a group of where people can come together and have a healing dome. I have many clients who are building places around the world. There is more. Thank you, guys. I'm hearing you loud and clear. So great. So Taurus is about healing our earth, healing our food, healing our relationship with food, and nourishment and community, connecting with a wider community of people who are connected to the earth. Well, the Pleiadians are dying to come in. And since many of you have asked about the Pleiadians, I'll just bring him in for a little while, okay? I'm delighted to be with you all, and we know we appear a little strange, but goodness gracious, everybody is a little strange. If you boil it down, everybody is strange. You're all so different, isn't that wonderful? Each and every one of you is just unique, as are we. You see, we want you to recognize the uniqueness and not make fun of it. Not bully somebody who looks different from you. Not feel threatened by somebody who doesn't speak as you do. Not allow somebody to express themselves just as the way they want to express themselves, and accepting that person. A deep acceptance of one another is what the Piscean energy is around. Accepting. Yeah? You might not agree, you might disagree vehemently with somebody's opinion. But how about accepting the being of the person? Yeah, the being of that person, seeing that there is a soul inside. And often people behave awfully because they are sad and they are lonely and they just want a little love. And they are thrashing away and hitting and shouting and tantruming all over the place. But all they want is a little love, you know. It's all you want when you're shouting and screaming a little. Yes, you blow your top. Just want a little loving and a little soothing. Yeah. Yeah, so many of you ask how to contact us. Well, you have to ask us, yeah? Ask for the energy of love, of joy, of inspiration, of peacefulness. Yeah, ask for these energies to come, and they come. You just have to sit quietly and allow them to come, you see. Yeah. Well, we'll bring Barbara back for a moment, yeah? Well, here she is. Yeah, she's back, yeah. Such a pleasure to come in and out, you know. Yeah. What I'm realizing is that there is so much that we can't sense and can't know. Yes? The phone went and then it stopped. That's interesting. I wonder who's trying to contact us. Thank you. Who's trying to reach you? Who's trying to contact you? What I've learned since opening up to channeling, and believe me, it's still strange, it's still odd. It was never something I was brought up with. So maybe you open yourself up to things that you weren't brought up with. All right, they're coming in again because they want to answer the question about the pyramids. Pyramids are a fantastic energy field. Anything in a pyramid has about 100 times more energy for healing than outside of a pyramid. So anywhere you have pyramids, you have energy for healing that is exceptional. Pyramids bring through energetics that enable you to open up more of the chakras, more of the pineal gland, more of the brain opens. The brain can open and reconnect with higher energies in the pyramid structure. Now, you don't have to be in a pyramid, although it is wonderful if you can be in a pyramid or build a pyramid. Wonderful. Domes are also powerful energy fields. But you can stroke a pyramid, you can visualize a pyramid. You see, you have no idea of the power of visualization, yes? Pisces, again, visualization. You have no idea how much your visualization and your concentration and your mind can actually bring something into being. Yeah, goodness gracious, you have no idea. There are those upon your planet who do this. You don't see them very often. They are very secluded from everyday world, shall we say. But there are those who can draw atoms and molecules and manifest things. And then de-manifest them. But you can all do this, you know. Anything you can think of and imagine, you can do. It just takes tremendous energy. And the more of you come together, as you begin to come together more in your own right, in your own uniqueness, realizing there is no competition because you're all different. Goodness, we wish you could get that one. But as you begin to come together, which you are doing, you will find that you'll be able to manifest things quickly, much more quickly than you ever could. Building, constructing, deconstructing. Yes, you want structures for so long, but then it's good to be able to deconstruct them, you know. Don't have this forever feeling. Things change, and it's good that they change. If they stayed the same, you would feel strangulated. Yeah, we've answered that one now. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so one of the questions that came through around these energies was how to use the energy constructively. You know, how can we use this big global shift? Because for the next several years we've got this earth-water energy. So what are we doing with water? How are we using water? There are many rituals to do with water. The cleansing power of water. The cleansing of old karma through praying over the water. Prayers. Pisces has everything to do with prayers. So we've got the power of water and we've got the connection with earth. And those who build communities that are connected to earth and water with fair means of exchange, with taking care of everybody, not just the few. I'm not one to quote the Bible because it's not something I've studied in enough detail. But I believe that in certain ancient civilizations, this may be true, maybe not true, but this is just something I've picked up, may be true, and you can give me feedback, that every 7 years, all debts are cancelled. So that any inequalities that have grown in the system are brought back to zero. It's this cycle of where things get out of balance, because they do. There are those stronger, there are those weaker, sometimes things get out of balance, and then there is just a cleaning and a clearing of the air. So a clearing of everything. You could do it by cutting your hair, anything physical. Also, there is a connection with the blood, the water of the body, the water of the physical, everything to do with how we understand physical. Yes, every 7 years the hormones change, everything changes. Every 7 years, I think, those scientists, you can correct me amongst you, that the body renews itself every 7 years. And we've got this 7-year transit of Uranus in Taurus. And I'm wondering whether debts are going to just become cancelled. How can we just cancel certain debts? Can we just have an even playing field? And it might not be a financial debt that you feel you owe. Maybe it's another debt. Maybe it's an apology to be made. Maybe it's a clearing of the air. Maybe it's a clearing of an honouring of the ancestors. We've got so much Capricorn energy that has a lot to do with ancient civilizations, the people before. And you might be questioning what's real, what's not real. What's true, what's not true. Your view of reality may change deeply. But there's going to have to be some practical actions. all the Capricorn energy that we've got with Saturn in Capricorn, and even by the end of this year, the beginning of December, Jupiter goes into Capricorn. It's got all this Capricorn energy looking at structure, the energy of time and space, how we use time, how we view space. Governments, look at them. They're lost, a lot of them. The UK, Brexit, what's going on? The US, I don't need to say more, I'm not getting involved with the politics of it. But let's suffice to say that old structures are having to crumble, and that's in your personal life. And there's an opportunity now for building new structures that have integrity, that are honest. And in many ways it's building fresh, it's building from new, because Pluto in Capricorn until 2024 has everything to do with the fact that anything that is not healthy, that is subversive, that is not for the highest good of humanity, will have to be deconstructed. And what are we the people? Uranus in Taurus is about we the people, wherever Uranus is. And the last time Uranus was in Taurus, this was at the rise of Hitler. Okay? This was the rise of these times. But this is different. Why is it different? Why do I see this as different? Because now we have Uranus, the kind of technology where we can connect quickly, where people as a whole have more of a voice than they've ever had before. But the question is now, Uranus in Taurus, are we going to speak out? Are we going to speak out for the whole and not just for little enclaves, little interest groups? So, yeah, precious metals, gold, silver, things that are tangible, food. Food's going to be a huge subject. Physical food, how we grow food, how we're nourished by food, the digestive system. I think there's going to be a lot of advances scientifically to do with the digestion, and also to do with the thyroid and the throat. Thank you. Anything to do with this area is going to experience big shifts in terms of healing. I think there can be a lot of healing around words, communication, how we speak to one another. And also breaking out from the rigidity of this economic system that has become too unbalanced. And entrepreneurs, I think there's going to be more and more entrepreneurs, more and more people coming up with creative ideas, so that you're not slaves to an office, you're not slave to a situation, but you find the things that you enjoy, the things that you love, the things that you feel passionate about, and that you share those. So yes, I'm seeing a new economic system evolving, and this is the start point. And the Pisces energy means the releasing of the old, the forgiving of the old mistakes. Heck, that might be difficult. Coming together so that we create something that's new. And there'll be all kinds of things coming up around healing, the healing of the body, living on air, breatharians, fruitarians, liquidarians, you name it, detoxificationarians. I think you'll find that this is going to be a hot topic. And an awakening area, an area of awakening where we see things from a different perspective. So very much the healing of our planet. And seeing that we've got all the minerals, all the vitamins, everything on our planet Earth that is here for us. And that we need to learn about it and study it and treasure it. Because it's all here. And this Taurian energy is about using our senses to connect with the earth. Again, I'm not scientific. Please forgive me if the figures are wrong. But I'm hearing that the Schumann resonance, which is the resonance at which the earth sings or speaks or vibrates, according to scientists, has been shooting up. I don't know the figures, so I'm not going to quote it. Better to stay out of it, that I won't get into trouble. I just don't know. A Mercury in Pisces, be ready to say, I don't know. It's one of the great things the Dalai Lama does. He often says, I don't know. He gets asked a profound question. I don't know. Just, isn't that great? That's liberating. So coming from the place of not knowing and exploring your senses, I feel that with this Taurian energy, it's an exploration of your senses, a heightening of your ability to see, to smell, to taste, to hear, to touch. So music strongly coming in for healing, sound healing, mantras, gongs, sound baths, you name it. Whoa, that's going to be a major area of growth and nourishment and business. Listening to the earth, putting your ear to the earth. Power of that frequency, the power of sound healing, that is going to come through very, very powerfully with Uranus in Taurus. Tasting. Imagine if your taste buds were so powerful, all it took was one mouthful of all the vitamins and minerals and everything that you need, one mouthful of the most delicious food, and you feel satiated. Imagine that. You don't need to be stuffing more and more and more in, and then having the body work harder and harder and harder. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, please. I'm no judge. I'm not making a judgment. But I'm just putting forward some new ideas here. Yet let's come up with the new ideas. When we get creative, we feel excited. And when you feel excited, you feel inspired. When you feel inspired, you create a different aura around you. And people around you suddenly come alive. People suddenly change their energy. So people will be working with rocks, with stones. Shungite is supposed to be very powerful with protecting you against EMFs and all sorts of things like that. So there's the power of the energy of the earth, seashells, stones, jewelry, using those crystals, the power of those, finding your own stones, using those, healing with those. Yes, sensually we're changing, coming alive differently, looking at sexuality differently. It's opposing the scorpionic energy of sexuality. Taurus wants to awaken all the senses so you can live in the orgasm of life. You don't have to have just this one sexual encounter and then it's all over quickly or slowly or whatever, but that all the senses come alive. Imagine the sense of touch, the power, the healing power of touch. That's why massages feel so good. The warmth of water touching you, an animal, stroking an animal. Yeah, all those kinds of things. But they can be heightened now. Now, we may use technology to heighten that, but you can use it by simply tuning in with nature. I have a feeling that you can heighten all of your senses by tuning in with Mother Earth, and that the more of us who come together in these communities, it's got to come. Let me put it to you this way. It's my heart's desire, and I hear it from so many of you, my clients, my students, my friends, my colleagues. You want to find the soulmates. You want to be in that frequency. I greatly admire the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, doing some tremendous work. I believe that his latest workshop, 1 week retreat in Mallorca, sold out within hours. 1,000 people just like that, because there is the power of coming together. Now, do you have to come together in so many? Not necessarily, no. But as we begin to dot around our planet these powerful healing communities, where we've got all those healing modalities, where just by being in that energy with healthy food, with people who want that upliftment, who are creative, who are living their passions and finding joy and feeling appreciative, and where we are supportive of where we are going through difficult times. There are difficult times in life. There are deaths. There are times when we lose somebody dear. And if you have people around you who hold you, who love you, it makes the whole transition easier. Some may find it in religion. And that's great too. Whatever it is where you find that you are held, that's the awakening here with this Uranus into Taurus, that we make it real, we make things tangible. It's no more pie in the sky, but it becomes real for us. Yeah, connect. People are asking now. Anybody know of one in Denmark? Anybody know of one? I know clients who have certainly got things going in Costa Rica, in Mexico. These seem to be hot spaces. There's certainly places all over the US, in Canada. They're coming everywhere. Let's connect. Okay, maybe you're one of those connectors. Yeah, it's exciting. These are very exciting times. Turbulent, yes. Very turbulent. So, people are still asking for the Pleiadians, so what question do you have? What do you want to ask the Pleiadians? I think I've said a lot now about these energies, and I hope that you've enjoyed that as much as I've enjoyed sharing it with you. Great. Anybody in Portugal? Yes, I think there are places in Portugal. Glastonbury. Great. So let's interact. Let's connect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You could just go around really saying thank you all day long. In many languages. I often feel like doing that. I have a favourite tree, I have to say. It's very Uranus in Taurus energy, but I have a favourite tree when I walk on my way to the beach. And I just don't know what it is. I just have to kiss this tree. Every time I pass it, it's so kissable. So, who or what do you need to kiss? Or love, or touch? Yeah. I think we're going to get much more connected with the mystical intelligence of all the religions. All the religions can be practiced on that fundamental level, which is separating, which of course none of us really want, or they can be practiced on the mystical level. The Mayans, the Kabbalah, the sacred texts. There's many sacred texts, and these have got a lot of information if we'll tune into them. Yeah. It's exciting. So will it affect you positively? I'm bringing in the Pleiadians. Let them answer that. Well, the energies are always a bit of everything, yes? Some of you will see positive, some of you won't. Some of you will change your minds midstream, and some of you will just say, well, it's neither good nor bad. I'm just having whatever experience I'm having. And I'm going to open myself as wide as I can to see that I have everything inside of me. And I can connect to everything there is. I just have to believe that that's possible. And if you can believe that's possible, then you've just connected to the highest frequency possible, where you can have everything in your life in any given moment. Everything. Oh, this is a wonderful time, dear ones. We are thrilled to be with you. We're coming through to many more of you. We love being upon planet Earth. There is so much richness here, and it is a time of deep change, and many of you are going to possibly say, well, oh, goodness gracious, this is too much for me. I feel overwhelmed. And we're just going to say, well, be overwhelmed, yeah? It's all right to be a little overwhelmed. Just say, I feel a little overwhelmed. All it means is that all the goodies are coming to you in one go. Yes, just imagine everybody's throwing presents at you and you don't know, you haven't got enough arms to be able to take them all. Yes, just open your arms very far and wide, and you'll find gifts and blessings will be bestowed upon you every moment. Just open your arms to it. You'll be amazed. We love you, love you, love you, we do. Yes, we do. We're bringing Barbara back now, we do. Yeah. Well, many people ask about when's the truth coming out about aliens and other races. It's coming. All right? It's coming. It won't be just for the select few. It's coming. Yeah. So I just really want to thank you deeply from the bottom of my heart for being with me today, for sharing this powerful energy of this day. This is a special day. I'm glad I decided not to travel today and to stay here in Athens and to be with you. Remember that you can have your molecules in all different kinds of places. You can be in many places at once. You can teleport yourself. That's what the Pleiadians are telling me. You can teleport yourself. And that this is going to become much more open for more of us who want it. I think this is a very exciting time to be alive. Difficult, yes. Challenging, yes. Turbulent, yes. But I think there's a lot of support out there now. Support from the unseen realms, although more of you are seeing those unseen realms or feeling them, and support from one another in new ways. Try not to allow the mainstream media to pull you down. Sometimes it does. I'm seeing that with some people. See it, notice it, and know that there are many other realities in which you can live. So as hard as it is to tear myself away from you, I just want to say thank you. I wish you a wonderful new moon. Give yourself permission to change your mind 1,000,000 times while Mercury is retro in Pisces, which you may do. And also be compassionate with people who change their minds on you, which may happen. And think of ways you can get in touch with your unique gifts and express them with this Uranus in Taurus energy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Merci. Gratias. Grazie. Efcharisto. Toda rabba. Dankeschön. I can't think of any other languages. I'm sure you guys can add it. Add it in your language, please. Thank you. Bye for now.